Good morning. We are gathering here today to honor and thank our veterans. Your sacrifices and service have shaped our nation, and they have inspired us all. We are incredibly grateful for their courage, dedication, and commitment. Please join me in welcoming and thanking them for their service today. So please stand, and there will be a processional.
Color guard post. Will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Salute. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard dismissed.
We ask that you please remain standing while Sam Russo plays the Star Spangled Banner. And now to welcome our veterans, is our junior senior high school principal, Mr. Moore.
Morning, everyone. Morning. It is my honor to welcome all of you, especially our veterans, who are joining us today. Thank you for being here as we gather to celebrate and honor the brave men and women who have served in our nation's military. To our veterans in the audience, we want to express our deepest gratitude for your service and sacrifice. The freedoms we enjoy today are thanks to the courage and dedication you have shown, and we are privileged to have you here with us. Today, as we reflect on your contributions, we are reminded of the values of service, sacrifice, and patriotism that make our country stronger. This assembly is a small way for us to say thank you for everything you have done. So on behalf of our entire school community, welcome and thank you for your service. Our local Girl Scout Brownie troop will now present a poem.
Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all our rights. They fought through many days and nights. And though we may not know each name, we thank all veterans just the same.
For a description of the 6 branches of the Armed Forces, Ben Riddler and Jacob Armstrong.
So these are the 6 branches of the military. The Army, which is the largest branch, is responsible for land-based military operations. The Army focuses on ground warfare and is equipped for a range of combat scenarios.
The Navy is primarily tasked with maritime operations. The Navy protects U.S. interests at sea and protects power globally. It operates ships, submarines, and naval aviation.
The Air Force is focused on aerial and space operations. The Air Force conducts air superiority missions, strategic bombing, and transport. It also oversees missile defense and satellite systems.
The Marine Corps is our rapid reaction force. The Marines specialize in amphibious assaults and ground combat. They are known for their agility and are often the first on the scene in crises.
The Coast Guard is under the Department of Homeland Security in peacetime. The Coast Guard performs search and rescue, law enforcement, and environmental protection missions, especially in coastal waters.
The Space Force is the newest branch, established in 2019, and focuses on space operations, including satellite communication, missile warning, and protecting U.S. interests in space. Each branch plays a unique role in national defense and operates under the Department of Defense, except for the Coast Guard during peacetime.
The high school band will play the anthems of the 6 armed forces. Veterans, please stand or wave when the song from your military branch is played. This is the anthem of the Army.
Our guest speaker today is David Bowden, Chief Warrant Officer 3 of the U.S. Army and Aviation.
Thank you for having us today. My disclaimer is I'm not a very good public speaker, so bear with me. I'm honored to be here today. When I was driving in the parking lot, watching all the veterans driving in, walking in, got a chance to meet some of them in the cafeteria before we came in here today. I'm just so honored to be a part of you guys. I don't think we have any World War II vets here today. Is that correct? Okay. So we lose our veterans every year, but I do know that we have a couple Korean veterans, and I'm so honored to be amongst you. And a little bit about myself real quick. I was born into a long line of military veterans. My grandfather was in France during World War II, the Great War. My father was in the Navy during Vietnam. I was about that age. I was born when the Vietnam War was going on, and I remember reading my father's Vietnam books, and there was something in my heart that always wanted to serve, and today's word is serving. And that never left me, and I hope that we all have that desire to serve, whether it is in the military or the scouts or the brownies or the police. We all have a responsibility to serve our country, our state, our community, and each other. And I feel like that's what today's message is, serving. And we all have the ability to serve in one way or another. Back to myself, which is the most boring part of any story when people talk about themselves. I never lost that sense of service. And right after high school, I almost joined the Navy, then chickened out. And then I got married young, but I never lost that sense I wanted to serve my country. Shortly after I was married, I talked to my father. He says, you can't get rid of that sense if you don't do it. And so I joined the Army. I was a tractor trailer driver. And we had a mission up at Fort Drum. And they said, hey, if anybody wants to go for a helicopter ride on your day off, you can. And I wanted to. Most of the other guys just wanted to sleep in the barracks. And that day changed my life. Went for my first helicopter ride, and I'll never forget it, coming off the ground like that. And I said, no matter what it takes, no matter what sacrifice I have to make, this is what I'm going to do. So anyways, went to flight school, graduated flight school, flew UH-1 helicopters, which these Vietnam vets are very familiar with that aircraft. It saved many, many lives, and I was honored to fly such a true and tried aircraft that was so historical. Back to service in military or whatever you're doing now, it grows. And our service, starting out, standing outside of Hannaford, collecting money for your school, whatever that service is, as you get older, that service can grow with you, and it can take a bigger and bigger role. Mine actually transferred into the New York State Police. I ended up getting to fly helicopters for the state police for 20 years. I just retired a couple years ago. I got to fly probably with your school resource officer. We spent a lot of time together. And anyways, I retired from there and retired from out of the military now. But back to, I should have wrote this stuff down, but back to service. I just want, no matter how young you are, sitting over here in kindergarten, or the people that are getting ready to graduate, your service is so important to, again, the country, the community, the state, whatever it would be, and more than anything, each other. And always give of yourself for others, and you will be rewarded, mostly in here. And I am so honored to be here today, especially amongst these guys. These guys went before me. I'd like to think I'm the youngest one here, as a veteran. But I want to thank you guys more than anything. I was born into your war, and it carried on for my whole career. And at this point, does anybody have any questions for any of the vets? Am I leaving anything out that I should have talked about? I'm really not a good public speaker. But, any questions for any of these vets? Okay, I got a question, sir.
Yeah, so where did you go from the Army? Lots of times people start off somewhere,
Yeah,
join the military, you get places you've never been before.
that's great. Yeah, so I started off, like I said, I was in the Rhode Island National Guard as a truck driver, and then went for that one helicopter ride. And next thing you know, I ended up in Afghanistan for a year. At that point, I had switched over from helicopters to airplanes. And so, as far as combat, I only did 1 year in Afghanistan, which I was very nervous about going over there. And really was proud to come back knowing that I had my opportunity to be overseas. And just when I said my grandfather, my father, and me, I just wanted to put a shout out to my son, who's serving in the Air Force, flying C-17s. I know he's not here, I wish he was. He's the apple of my eye. I live vicariously through him now. So I handed off the mantle to the boy. And you know, his girl, I want to mention his girlfriend. She is I'm speaking to the women here too. The young one. My son is flying C-17s, which is a big cargo airplane. Like last week, he picked up the president's Marine One helicopter over in Africa and doing all that stuff. And that's all great and stuff, but guess what his girlfriend does? She protects him. She flies the fighter jet air pilots that keep him safe. So she is, wow. You know, no matter what your gender, don't ever let them think for a second that is going to affect what you want to do. She's awesome. She's about this tall. Any other questions, please? Yes? Eat and drink in the Army. Well, it depends on where you are. Believe it or not, the best we ate and drank as far as quality of food was in Afghanistan. I think just to keep morale. I know the Navy, like my father said, they ate very well when they're on a ship. So to answer your question, pretty much anything you would eat here, they want to give you healthy food, you know, so you didn't eat a lot of garbage, sugar, all that stuff. So you wanted to stay healthy, which we also want to stay healthy in our diets and stuff. But, did I answer your question? Sir?
The best ice cream goes to the Navy.
That's right. That's Does that mean I gotta be done? Sir? Oh, question? Yes, ma'am.
What do you usually do in there?
Well, we all have different roles. We all did different things. My particular job was flying helicopters, and then I flew airplanes. I just flew the little airplanes. My son flies the big airplanes. Yes. Oh, there's 3 hands over there.
How come tanks need treads? How come tanks need treads?
Well, I'm not a tanker. Maybe somebody else is a tanker up here, but the short of it, tanks need treads because of the terrain they're going over. If they had wheels, they would get stuck way too easy because they're so heavy. If there's a tanker out there, am I correct? That's my guess. These are great. 2 more questions, okay. The little lady. I live in Salem. So, when you're going through these towns, and I love that the towns do this now, you see all the veterans on the poles, and I think that's so great that, sometimes you think, oh, the military people, like are from some special, no, it's our community. We all started off in our community serving. So today's word is thank you to the vets, but service, and we all serve. And just because your picture's not up on one of the telephone poles, that doesn't mean you're not serving your community. Wow, a lot of hands. The blue shirt in the back. Yeah. Well, 24 years as far as paperwork, but when I became a state trooper, I had to stop serving for about 6-7 years, so about 20 years. One more. How long are you usually at the war? Well, it depends on what branch of service you're in. Air Force, it's like 2 days. The Army tends to do about 1 year, and I think the Marines do like a year and a half. So it depends on what branch, or what mission you're doing, but it's all service. So it doesn't matter if you're there for a short amount of time. I know my son flew into Somalia a couple weeks ago, and he was there for 3 hours. Like he was dropping off the bullets and the food, so he did his service. Again, it was all about service. That was his job. So, okay, that says I got to stop speaking. Does anybody else want to say anything before I finish here? And I hope I covered everything. One more. Oh, yes, sir. Veteran.
I was just wondering if you came prepared to give everybody a
Did you come prepared for helicopter ride?
Once upon a time, we could do that, but then somebody got in trouble and we can't do it. And would you really want to go on Kiwi again? I'm sure you spent your time on those.
Maybe you'll do all.
Yeah, you got my number. All right. Well, thank you so much. And again, if you take anything away from today, is everybody has a duty to service, no matter how big or how small. Okay? And serve each other, serve your community, your school, serve your state, serve your country. And God will bless you. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And now our K through 2 chorus will sing My Country 'Tis of Thee, and right after that, the 3-4 chorus will sing When Johnny Comes Marching Home.
When Thank you, Ms. G. Great job, boys and girls. My name is Damian Switzer, and I'm the interim elementary principal at Salem Washington Academy. It's my honor at this time to introduce our guests that have joined us this morning. When I call your name, please stand or wave, and I'll do this by branch. Beginning with the United States Air Force, Jack Haskell. Representing the United States Coast Guard, Joe Miner. Tina Myers. And Nolan Cuevas. cum laudes. Anyone that I may have missed, please stand. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
And now, students Mason Hayward and Socrates Fraunhofer have put together a video.
Thank you, veterans, for protecting our country. Happy Veterans Day.
We appreciate our veterans. Thank you, veterans, for protecting our country. Gracias, and thank you from stage class. Thank you for protecting our country. Thank you, veterans, for your service. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you, veterans, for serving our country, for your bravery and so willing to sacrifice your lives for us all. Thank you, veterans, for serving.
Good morning. My name is Peter Thomas. I'm the Vice President of the Board of Education. I'd like to start with just a few comments of thanks to some specific people. To Kim Garrity and Kim Carr, thank you so much for the hard work that went into putting this together. It was very missed last year, and we're very grateful to have it back again. To the two young men who did the introduction and talked about the definition of the branch of the service, where are you guys at? Thank you. It's a good thing they didn't ask us to do that, because it's probably something that would not have been presentable to the school audience. And lastly, to Mr. Eastman and the band, the renditions you did of the anthems of the Salt Beach service was excellent. I would like to note also, as a Navy veteran, that we have the only anthem that's a drinking song. To Mrs. Clary, our town supervisor, to Mrs. Adams, the school superintendent, to the two administrators, Mr. Morris and Mr. Switzer, and particularly all the staff and faculty who worked so hard to put this together, and for the kids who are here today, again, the board extends their thanks to you, as do all the veterans in attendance here. There's one more thing I wanted to add, and now it's like drawing a complete blank on it. But as you can tell, I wear two hats. One should be sitting over there, the other should be sitting over here. And as my current position, I chose to sit over here. The one thing that stood out to me when I was asked to do this presentation here is that it's not a surprise to me at all that Veterans Day is such an important holiday in this community. Last year, we had, in current military, many of us received a personal invitation when it was our time to serve. Those of us that are serving today, it's an all-volunteer force. 3% of the population has worn the uniform of this country since it became an all-volunteer service. Last year, in the graduating class of 31, we had 2 enlisted. It's not unusual in this community to see that with every graduating class. Service is very important, as Mr. Bowden said. Service is very important to this community. Service is something that binds us all together. And so many of us sitting in these chairs over here have continued to serve in one way or another. It's something you can't give up. It's something you can't get rid of. It's something that never goes away. So again, we thank you for recognizing us, we as veterans, and we as a board in particular, wish to thank each and every one of you for all the work, the hard work you put into doing this, and we look forward to seeing you all again next year. Thank you very much.
Before we close, I would like to thank, I would like to send some thanks to Kim Carr, Kim Garrity, Stacy Parker, Sue Neal, and Gina Eastman, who worked together to really put this together and bring this back for us and for our community, and for that we really appreciate it. And I know there were other students and faculty and staff who've contributed in various ways, and so thank you all. I know that I speak for everyone when I say that we are so happy that we can resume this tradition of honoring our veterans at this special time of year. So let's just give them a hand to thank them for putting it together. As we conclude this Veterans Day Assembly, let us remember the sacrifices made by our veterans. Their courage and dedication have secured our freedoms. Let us honor their service by striving to be the best citizens that we can be. Thank you once again to all of our veterans for your service. We appreciate you and we honor you. So at this time, we're going to conclude our ceremony. If everyone can please stand for the processional of our veterans. Please stay where you are until our best veterans have left the gym. Thank you all for coming today.